Very, very well. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for checking in today. Again, just a very, very quick one I'm going to be doing today. We've got some big updates coming up with the channel, which is coming up very, very soon, which is basically going to be documentary format. So that's kind of more what I'm used to doing for other channels and for other people. So there's a lot of public speaking, and we've got something I'm really excited to be covering very, very soon. So we're going to be covering the first documentary is going to be on the subject of exorcisms, which is something which people don't like to kind of dabble with or play with that much. But we're going to be going into that. So that's one of the documentaries which is going to be coming up. That is already started to be filmed. We've got video clips and data, evidence, facts, what we've brought in. Obviously, priests who we've spoken to, real life accounts. Some quite frightening things, to be fair. So that's the documentary, which is up and coming very, very soon. As promised as well, we are going to be doing one on Thomas Aquinas. We're also going to be doing one on Padre Pio, and we're also going to be doing one on St. Francis of Assisi. There's also going to be another one on the Shroud of Turin. So these are all things that are going to be coming up very, very soon. There's another one which we'll be doing later on in the year, which is going to be facts on religion, faith, God, that God exists, and we'll be using all up-to-date science, quantum physics, and top philosophers, connecting the dots. It's going to be a really, really good one, that one. But the first one is going to be on exorcism, which I know my video editing team, It's Entertainment, are very excited about doing. So this is going to be up and coming. We're starting to video it already. So we're doing some filming going on this week and some filming going on later on as well. So we're going to be getting all that done for you. Like I said, some true accounts, some police reports. And like I like to stress as well, a lot of people, not everyone likes the police force, but police, they're not meant to, and they don't really exaggerate or lie in their statements. Now, a lot of people out there have had bad examples of the police go, Now, what I mean by that is everything they write down in their MG11 form and in their statements has to be factual and accurate and understandable. You have to be able to relate to what they're saying in a statement because they've got to say that in court. So obviously there's a few things out there which have happened, what police have put in statements, which you'd think are from a Hollywood movie, which police wouldn't write. And when they put that in a statement, it's because it happened. So there's two accounts in England of the Essex Police and I believe the Metropolitan Police, where there's some very, very let's just say strange things which the police have written down in their statements and in their notebooks, which has been quite frightening. One was witnessed by, I think it was about 7 police officers, about 6 firemen, a doctor, a nurse, a vet, everyone witnessed it. And again, frightening. And this was said by our chief inspector. Chief inspector, I think, of the Essex Police. Not just that as well, you also remember that, the incident that happened that day, it drove a veteran police officer to retirement. Now, the reason why this is strange is because police officers have got a stronger stomach than 90% of the public could fathom. Unless you're ex-army or you're a paramedic or you're a fireman, you won't understand. Police are very thick-skinned. They're not scared easily. This man, I think he had like 24, 25 years of service in the Essex Police. Boom. After that day, he was gone. He's like, I quit, I retire, give me my pension, I'm gone. So for that man to be that frightened and pushed over the edge, and it's what he experienced that night. So I'll let you wait to see the documentaries, or the documentary which is coming out. I'm very, very excited to show you that. Again, so I witnessed something very, very scary. I'm very, very good friends with a priest, Father Julius. And like I say, I'm a key holder for the Catholic Church. I look after 2 churches. I used to, obviously I'm an ex-police officer myself, I used to provide security voluntary for the diocese for St. John's, St. Catherine's and St. Mary's. And big responsibility, and I absolutely love doing it. Both of the churches, 2 of them are over 1,000 years old. So, there's a lot of history there. One was a part of a convent, which is no more. The convent's been sold. It's now a big mansion. And then someone's bought, and then on the side is still the chapel. And that's St. Catherine's. And then you've also got St. Mary's in Denton. And, to to be a key holder for them is a true blessing. I used to do a lot, be on the committee, obviously, for St John's as well. They needed some work doing, and I helped them get some stuff done and get the ball rolling, and it was really, really good. So, you know, I love helping, and obviously, cut the long story short, because I kind of digressed a bit then. I ended up having to. I saw something once. I was with an ex-partner years ago and one of their friends, and obviously, won't ever go into names or anything. But what I saw, um, it was quite frightening, And there's been a few things I've noticed in the police. There's been a few things just going out and about. Although I'm a devout Roman Catholic, I think a lot of people have done that urban exploring, as we used to call it in the police. But people used to go out and ghost hunt and do silly things, go out on Halloween. And again, me being me, we went to a lot of places which were, quite frightening places where you shouldn't really be looking, and be careful what you look for, because you might find it, sort of thing. And I went there with a complete not atheist, agnostic sort of mentality, because I'm religious. I just didn't think we're going to get anything. I thought it was going to be a laugh. We're going to have just a group of friends. We all experience stuff. So I've seen things in the past. And again, being in the police, sometimes you have to go places, not many times in the police. Most of the things in the police have been logical things I've dealt with. But there's been a few things which have been quite funny. And the thing, I was in the police back then, but I was off duty and I was helping Father Julius with something. And again, frightened the absolute life out of me. And I'm not easily scared, although I believe in God. I like to look at everything from a rational mind when it comes to, again, I was in the police then. So I was very much like, I need to figure this out. But there was no figuring it out. So I'll leave that to that. But that will all be in the documentary for you. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a good one to edit for the editing team. They're really looking forward to it. So I've got some stuff already gathered for them. We'll have a few little comedy bits in there as well, which is part of my sense of humor. So we'll have some comedy bits from some movies and some clips put in there. But it's going to be very, very good, very, very factual. And one thing I'm going to say is a lot of people say that they don't, especially like some of the atheists out there and some of the agnostics, they're not entirely convinced by exorcisms. But to be brutally honest with you, they're real. They are real. They do happen. There's numerous cases, what I mentioned in the documentary, and even in some of the top Hollywood films, which again will probably be mentioned in the documentary. But the real cases, not the films and such, of these people where they actually go and, the top psychiatrists and doctors, they've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 doctors, and they look at the person, go, his temporal lobe or her temporal lobe is fine. There is nothing wrong with this person. And they discharge them. And there's been cases like the one in Essex where the police have gone, this person is insane, send them to an asylum. And the asylum go, there is nothing wrong with them. We don't call them asylums anymore, but it's mental health unit is probably the best way of calling it. But yeah, so you've got to realize that. And again, people watch a lot of the Exorcism films, and the films do kind of give it justice, because people think if you watch every film, they go, I think, like if you're watching the show on Amazon Prime at the moment, which is called The Exorcist, which is the warm up for the film, which is coming out later on in this year. She goes up to the priest and says, I think it's my daughter's possessed by a demon. And the priest goes, demon? Are you sure? That they're not real, right? And they are real. If you can't believe in light and not dark, you look at just humanity. Even if you're an atheist, look at the evil things that people do to each other in this world. Kind of proves a very, very good valiant point of how evil people can be, let alone the demonic. So obviously demonics are, a demon is basically a fallen angel, if you will. They're to us, they're invincible. We can't fathom them. They can't be created or destroyed. As science say, they literally are ever living. They haven't got a soul like we've got. They are completely different to us. And basically their equivalent is an angel. So they're very, very powerful creatures. And even when you look at any horror film you watch, if you look at a vampire, it's a demon. It's a demonic possession, but where it's took full control of the body. And that's what's the difference between a vampire and when you watch a possession movie or a werewolf. It's the same thing. It's a demonic possession. But it's manifested in its entirety in that human form. So obviously we don't see that sort of thing, thank God. But it gives you an idea. Talking to that, that's one of the things on the documentary which I think you'll find quite interesting. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to show this for people purely because not much is covered on it really. A lot of YouTubers do good videos, really good videos where they talk about true cases, but they don't so much go into the nitty gritty of it. And this is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be going into the psychology. Like I said, I've studied for a long time. Like I said, I started wanting to learn about mental health. Because I struggled when I was younger. That doesn't mean I'm delusional or I see fairies or anything. It's, I suffer badly from depression at times, which I do overcome. I do quite well at that. But basically, we're going to be going into mental health. We're going to be going into the differences between obviously schizophrenia and demonic possession. And we're even going to go into what to look out for. Because some people watch this and go, it's real. It's real. I mean, every human on the planet has walked past that. It could be an alley or, a road they normally go down. And then there's something that makes you go, no, I'm not going to go down there. And there's a reason you're not going to go down there. It's simple as that. And, it's going down there and nothing good comes from it. There's something down there. And, it's kind of like your spider sense, if you will. It's a sixth sense. It's literally, if you believe in your guardian angels, it's your guardian angel going, no, you go this way, and I've seen too many things happen in this world what are very, very frightening. Sixth sense is a big one. It's a big one. So the greatest trick the devil played on people from Anthony Hopkins, what he said in the film, right, is the greatest trick he ever played is to convince the world he never existed. Another thing he says in that film is not believing in the devil won't protect you from him. So a lot of people watch Lucifer, Morning Star, the show Lucifer, brilliant, good Welsh actor, absolutely love him, good actor, but the devil's not quite as charming as that, unfortunately. So this is to give people the nitty gritty, what to stay away from. So that's the documentary which is going to be coming up. It's going to be a really, really good one. We're going to be going into everything. We're going to be going into the nitty gritty things and everything on the subject of demonic possession on the first one. This documentary I am looking forward to. We're also going to be going into, let's say, psychology, psychiatry, a bit of quantum physics in there as well. Talking about energy. So for people who go, oh, a demon, it's because another thing. I'm doing another documentary later on. It's a bit of a sensitive topic because we've had a few people. Obviously, we've all had people who we've lost and have died. Now, another thing, what makes you believe in God, and I'll explain now very, very quickly, is how many of you, for example, look at you, the people around you, your spouse, your children, your uncle, your dad, your nan, your granddad, whoever you grew up with, your best friend at school, your worst enemy at school, whoever it was. Have you ever noticed that person exists, right? But when they die, sometimes people think, oh, as long as I've got them in my heart, they'll always live with me, which is true. But you've got to think that person has existed. Their memories existed. The things they've done existed. Good things, bad things happened. So, that happened. It's a part of time. They've had that. Now, you've got to realize that we are non-physical, but we live in this physical body. Bob Proctor worded it perfectly. He said, I don't look at, my meat suit and say, this is Bob Proctor. He said, they don't look at my hand and say, I'm a hand. They say, no, they say my hand, my name, my house, my car, my job. These are the things we have, but it's not me. The truth is I'm a soul, I'm a spirit, I'm non-physical. There's one thing he says, he goes, my name's Bob. I said, but my name really isn't Bob. I could change it to Frank or Susan if I wanted to, and he's right. He's absolutely right. We're spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings. So yes, obviously we believe it, as in Christianity, that soul and body, you keep your form, but we are a spirit. When the body decays, the soul leaves. Constantine Kristoff, I think his name is, but I might have that wrong, discovered what he believes the soul leaving the body. He was an electrograph photographer, and he believes that he took the moment the soul left the body. And there's been a lot of other scientists who have looked into this again. And obviously the Shroud of Turin, we're going to be going into that as well, which is absolutely amazing. And also to continue with this as well, we've got to look at, the human being. So what does the human being mean? It means we were never born and we can never die, and we continue to unfold in this process. So obviously, if you're a Catholic or a Muslim or Jewish, you've got heaven and hell. So you can never you were never born, you can never die. It just depends where you end up. You've got purgatory, heaven, hell. Don't go to that one. Purgatory, don't want to go there either. But heaven's the destination for everyone, really. But if you go to one of the other two, not good. But again, more science for you. What is energy? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Fact, science, evidence. Shut. Done. It's fact. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. You are energy. Pure as that. Another thing from Bob Proctor, he had I think it's because he's a rich man. I think he had like $100 bill, and he set fire to it. Smoke, and everyone goes, "What's happened to it?" And everyone went, "It's gone." He goes, "No, it hasn't. It's just changed form. It's gone to mist, vapor, smoke, steam. But it's still there. It's still in the ether. It's still here. It never can be corrected or destroyed." So again, this is something to look at. So when it comes to obviously the demonic entities, they cannot be created and they cannot be destroyed. So obviously when the priest gets rid of them, he gets rid of them, but they just go back and they'll find someone else. So it's just the way it is, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to be looking into all of that. We're going to be doing one on science, quantum physics, and all that sort of thing, and religion and faith as well, like I promised. Big thing we're going to be doing as well, which I'm really, really looking forward to as well. It was in my head and it's just gone. Hang on, let me see if I can get it back. Where's it gone? I've actually forgotten. It was really, really good. So important, and it's just disappeared. Give me a second. It's going to bug me now. What was we talking about? I've covered quite a bit, haven't I? No, it's absolutely disappeared. It was a really, really good point, and it's gone. It will come back to me later. But so yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing. That's it. We're also going to be looking at things for you to look out for. So, for example, things to avoid. So, for example, as everyone knows on the channel, I'm a Roman Catholic. This is pretty much it's a Christian channel, but people will probably say it's Roman Catholic, especially if. But I want to get Protestants on board. I want to get evangelists. I want to get the Protestant denominations on board in their entirety. Lutheran, everyone, Church of England, because this is an educational platform for them to learn, and also to be more accepting, to learn that the stereotypes of Catholicism is wrong, to learn how to think, and it also means not saying you have to come and join Rome. But just to give people an idea, or the Eastern Orthodox, or even a different form of Catholicism. I mean, it's a very, very small thing, but there's a different form of Catholicism as well you can join. But they're just not allegiant to the Pope. For example, the Anglo-Catholics, which was the original Church of England, which were loyal to the King and the Archbishop of Canterbury, but they still follow, the Nicene Creed, the Apostles' Creed. They kind of still look at the Pope, but they go, we're with the King, but we kind of like the Pope, but they don't, they won't admit it. And then obviously you've got the, the Anglican Catholics as well, who they do look to the Bishop of Rome. They do respect his office. I don't think they like him as like they don't look at him as like the monarch, what he is. Sort of, they don't look like the monarchic power the Pope has over everyone, because this is where a lot of Protestants do have their issues, and basically it's a bit hard, but I'm very factual. Again, being copper and or ex-policeman, this is how it is. It's kind of, the reason why there was a schism was over the authority of the Pope. But the Pope kind of called the shots anyway, But what people don't like is that he has authority over every bishop, anywhere. Even if you're evangelist, Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, the boss is the Pope. And the boss above him, he answers to God. But the Pope's kind of like the CEO on earth. He rules everything. And a lot of people have an issue with that. But the thing is if you let every bishop run around and do what they want, then you're going to lose Christianity, because they're going to have their own mentality, their own ideas. You need someone to rein people in. What happens when you get a bad Pope? Pope Francis has done some bad things, but he has done some good things. So, I've got 2 rosaries blessed by Pope Francis. Do I agree with Pope Francis as the Holy Father? I have to say no, in a respectful way. I'd love to meet him. I'd love to see His Holiness. I'd love to talk to him. Do I agree with him? No, I don't. Do I think Benedict was a better Pope? Yes, Benedict XVI was a better Pope. Do I think John Paul II? Well, let's just say John Paul the Great. That says everything, really. And all the popes before. I think he's a people pleaser, and that's a sticky path to go down. I'm happy with what he said though the other day, where he said about obviously homosexuality isn't a crime. He didn't say it's not a sin, but people get angry with that, but they don't understand by sin. Everything we do, we can do a sin. If you think about a fault, that can be a form of a sin. If you, do things you shouldn't do, that's a form of a sin. Although it can be very mediocre to people, especially from the atheist and the agnostic world. It's sins are sins, and that's the thing. So it's the act what is a sin, but it's the same with two heterosexuals. If you get a male and a female when they have sex out of wedlock, it's a sin. It's no different in a way. But I've got a lot of best friends, like I said before, who are gay. I love them to bits. I give my life for them. They're great guys, and they're amazing. One I went to school with, and yeah, we are best friends even today, and we don't see each other much. I hold them to the highest regard. I trust them with my life, So yeah. But yeah, so anything any of you want me to do on the channel as well, the subscribers, drop me a message. Let me know what you want to do, or you want me to cover, and we can do it. If there's a church where you go to and you want me to go to, or if there's a church you had fond memories when you were a kid, and could you come and do this? Or I know the pastor or priest at this place, I'll come along. It'd be my pleasure. So that's pretty much what the video is going to be about. Yes, talking about churches, wasn't I? I'll digress again. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at trying to do things with other denominations as well, like I said before. So although I am a Catholic channel, there's going to be things I disagree with, but I'm going to visit these places to see how they worship, because it's the viewer who's watching this who could be at home, and Catholicism might not appeal to them, but they might scroll through YouTube, come across my channel and see this church, parish, and it's for them. And then I've done my job, because although I could say, oh no, you want to come to the Catholics, you want to go to the Eastern Orthodox, you want to go to Rome, you want to go to the Anglo-Catholics, the Anglican Catholics, or something like that. That's not my decision to make. I can show you the truth, but I want you to also find your own way. So finding your own way would literally be anything to like, could be anything. You could be spiritualist. Now for the Catholics and a lot of Christians, that's a no-no. And you do get spiritual Christians as well out there. So I am going to do that. I'm going to be looking at a spiritual church, Christian spiritualist church. I'm also going to find one which is kind of non-denominational one, just for the people, so we know what they do, and the viewers can find their own way. Don't get me wrong, there's things I'm going to disagree with heavily. I think the spiritual world is extremely dangerous, and I shouldn't really say this because I want to do videos on it, but I'm just being honest. Talking about demonic possessions and things, I think a lot of the people, the mediums and things like that, they're messing with things that they don't understand. They're born with a gift, and they just want to use it and play with it. But it doesn't mean they know how to use it and know how to play with it. Like, to be a priest, it takes anything from 7 to 8, 9 years sometimes to get out of seminary school and be a priest. In the Roman Catholic Church, it takes a long time, a lot of study, a lot of education at the highest level. That's why you should listen to priests, especially Roman Catholic ones, Eastern Orthodox ones. Rabbis, things like that. You watch all the programs of Christ when he was younger. A rabbi was, he was, it took him a lifetime of knowledge to become a rabbi. And even today, they are incredibly well-learned and educated people. Like people talk about, being smart, being educated. Why go to religion? Some of the smartest people, or the smartest people in the world, are men of God. The things priests have to learn. You're looking at psychology, theology, history, arts, science, doctors, medical doctors, scientific doctors, at the church, and of quantum physics and of science. The people looking out of the galaxy now, half of them wear a collar. You don't realize it. You're sitting at home going, I don't believe science. The people of science are the ones looking through the binoculars. Oh, what binoculars? The telescopes out into space, and the men of God. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Okay, so respect. So this is what this channel is about. It's more about people learning, getting respect. So, but yeah, going on to the spiritual stuff. Although I'm going to do a couple of spiritualist churches for people to see, I'm going to make an advocate here. Never do a Ouija board, for example. Ouija board is a gateway. Spiritualists will say, "Oh no, don't no, they're wrong. It's not. Don't do it. It's not good." People can say, it's literally like playing Russian roulette, and some people out there, say, a Ouija board's made by a game company. Yes, you're right. Well done. But it was based on the spirit board. That's the real name, or an angel board. Angels don't come through that board. It's literally like, imagine you've got a phone book and you've got 25 people in that phone book, and one of them's nice, but the other 24 are serial killers. It's like, what number are you going to call? Do you know what I mean? That's what you're playing with. You don't know. And they can lie to you. You don't know who they are, And what I'm not a big fan of mediums is some mediums lie to you as well. So, some mediums kind of, they'll go in there and go and there's a thing they say in a lot of spiritual communities: don't feed the medium. And what they mean by that is don't say, Nan, Granddad, just say yes, no, not sure. And that way you're not feeding them, you're not telling them. One of my friends went once and he dressed up in clothes which he would never wear. And he used to do like a bit of drama, so he could really play it off quite well. And he went there and this medium was bang on. I was like, amazing, well done. So some of them are genuine and they can do some amazing things. But again, in the Bible, it says, you don't want to go to mediums, But the videos I'll do are for you, for the viewers. But I'm not getting involved in that stuff myself. But it's for the viewers. But 90% of my stuff is going to be Christian. We're going to do the Islamic faith as well, because for those of you going, oh, no, you've got to learn. This is what the channel's about. Islam. I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Christian and I always will be. I can answer any question to them if they ask about the Trinity, and they'll answer their things about the Quran. But the thing is with Islam, people don't realize that you've got Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and they're all part of the Abrahamic faith, the Abrahamic God, the one true God, above every other God in the world, and what the Sikhs believe, and everyone else. The Abrahamic God. Muslims are a part of that, so we are their brothers and sisters in a way. And in the Quran, you'll never hear a Muslim say anything bad or derogatory against Jesus. They won't do it because he's one of their top prophets. And they also won't say, and they won't have anyone say anything bad about the Virgin Mary. Now, that's more than what I can say about a lot of Christians out there, again, but it's because they don't know. They listen to some pastor on TV who doesn't know, who is prejudiced. And these people put their prejudice on their flock. You don't want to Roman wrong because of this, Mary idolatry. No, wrong. I thought you were smart. You're obviously, and that's not me judging them, but it's like you are feeding people poison. Like I said, foot of the cross, Jesus clearly said, John, this is your mother, woman, this is your son. Bang, there you go. That is our mother. She is the new Eve. Fact. So deal with it any way you will. People don't pray to Mary. We don't worship Mary, but we pray. But it's kind of like your friend at your church or your mosque is not feeling well, so you pray, Jesus, God, Allah, whoever you're praying, you pray to. Please, can you make sure my friend is okay, or his mum is not well? We all do that. We all do that prayer. Yeah, great. We're all here in the present on earth. Yeah, on this plane. Yeah. When you pray to Mary, she intercedes for us to Christ. It's kind of like we pray to Jesus about it, and then we ask Mary's help to see if she can have a word, basically, with God. But you've got to remember the wine miracle at Cana with the wine, where Jesus turned water into wine. That wasn't meant to happen. He was not meant to do it. He actually said, "Woman, this is not my time." And she still went, "Do whatever he says." He's like that. Yes, mum. So he did it. So basically, Jesus doesn't refuse his mum. Okay. But it doesn't mean you go to her on selfish things. It's she prays on our behalf. She of a loving mother. She's mother to us all. So that's why people pray to Mary. But it's to Christ. Like, Mary, can you please, tell Jesus this? And we've already told Jesus this, but just in case he forgot, which he won't, can you, put in a good word, please? And the same with the saints, and it's exactly the same. They don't worship saints. They don't worship Mary. And when you get, it's basically, the only way I can word it to everybody is you've got I invented this. Okay? But then 1,000 years later, all these other people who got educated from me go, actually, no, I think this is right. It's like, no, this is right. Listen to me. I invented it. So it's kind of, you've got to realize it's like with Rome, with the Eastern Orthodox, that's what you're looking at. Even with the other Catholic denominations out there who aren't, you've still got to remember, you come from this, whether you like it or not, you came from Rome. Especially if you go under the name Catholic, you are a part of Catholicism. You are still a part of Catholicism. You are Catholic, but you came from Rome. End of story. If you may have been in the Church of England. They came from Rome. So that's what I'm trying to get people to realize is have respect for your forefathers. You don't have to follow the Pope. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not asking you to go to the mass at a Roman Catholic Church. I'm just saying, please have respect for the church and stop, this nonsense out there, which isn't good. It's not going to stop. People are always going to have this opinion. I've read comments on social media where people have said, Catholicism isn't going to get you into heaven. I'm like, because your form of Christianity is. It's not me judging. It's just saying you're being hypocritical. Like in the Bible, remove the log from your eye before you remove the splinter from mine. Yeah. So it's like, it's very hypocritical. You got to know your faith, practice your faith, and go, okay, why? Like I said before, Matt Whitman, the 10-minute Bible hour, love the guy to bits. I wish every Protestant was like him because he's amazing. There's a few American YouTubers who do the same thing I'm doing, who've done it for longer than me, who are really, really good, and they're Protestant, and they've gone to Catholic straight away. First videos, I'm going to Rome. I want to see what this is all about, and they've gone. Love it, beautiful. I understand a lot more. Not going to leave my church, but yes, I respect Rome. Yes, I like Rome. Yes, I know I came from Rome. End of story. But I'm not going to go to Rome. I'm not going to go to their church. I'm not going to do the things they do, but I do respect them. So yes, it's kind of things like that. This is what this channel is about, is to help people learn and understand. I'm going to do videos with other Anglicans, the Anglican Church. I want to help gain them more members because I love the Anglican Church. There's a church called the ACC in the UK, the Anglican Catholic Church. Basically, they're American. A lot of people go, "Oh, you were formed in the 1970s." It's like, actually, no. They had their own form of schism. They had their own little split from the Episcopalian Church. The reason they split from the Episcopalian Church is because then they wanted to follow what Church of England done with female ministry. Now, the reason the Episcopalian Church is called the Episcopalian Church is because when you had the Battle of Independence in America, it's really weird having the Church of England over there when it's now American, so it became Episcopalian, but it was originally Church of England over into Church of England before they were Anglo-Catholic and were Roman Catholic. So you can see where we're going with this on their line of direction. And the reason the ACC are brilliant is because they still do the Latin Mass. They don't do Navis Ordo. They do the Latin Mass, which is absolutely amazing, which I love. And the big thing as well is there's so many things with the Anglican Catholic Church, what I love, what you can look at. There's, like, for example, quite a few of them. What I love is they do the Latin Mass. That's one. They follow pretty much all the 7 sacraments. They do really, really good job. Now, yes, so obviously their headquarters is in the United States. They're all around the world as well now, but they're very, very small in number. But they are larger than life, and they bring Catholicism to you, same as Roman Catholic Church does. But they really bring the Catholicism to you. You feel Christ there. It's amazing, beautiful. The priests are amazing, and they're very, very connected with the Eastern Orthodox and the Roman Catholic. So they've got that very old, they don't want to change. They don't want to change things. They want to keep it as it is. And that's one thing I love about the Eastern Orthodox, because they haven't changed. I mean, they're the ones you can't say haven't been hypocritical at all. They're absolutely amazing. Where I've made jokes about Rome, saying if Rome keep changing all their little curveballs, they might as well be Protestant. But it's not going to happen. They won't be Protestants, so don't get your hopes up. They'll always be Rome. They'll always be Catholics, Roman Catholics. But it's kind of like, we need a stronger Pope, I think, who's a bit more like, this is how it needs to be. This is how it is. This is how it was. This is how it's staying. Don't go. There's certain things they should bend on. Like the last thing Pope Francis said, completely agree on. Because like I said, my best friends, I'd give them a lot. I love them to bits. So completely agree with him on that. But there's certain things, like for example, he's interested in getting rid of the Latin Mass. No, not going to happen. Stop. Stop. You know, people say, how can you say it's the Holy Father? I just did. Stop. You know, there's a big argument with a lot of Christians at the moment saying, oh, we don't need the Latin Mass. It's like, you're not Catholic then. You know, I shouldn't say that. That is very, very judgmental of me, but it's true. So that means that you're disregarding Padre Pio. Oh no, I'm not. Well, he done the Latin Mass. He didn't really like Lapis Ordo. He done the Latin Mass. And then you don't like St. Francis of Assisi. No, you don't like St. Francis of Assisi. Oh, and you also don't like John Paul. You know, John Paul II, John Paul I. You know, because it dates back. They all did the Latin Mass. Benedict, Latin Mass. You know, so no, we are not getting rid of it. You know, no, we're not getting rid of it. You know, but Navis Ordo is amazing. I love Navis Ordo as well. I see why the priests face a congregation, but I like the Latin Mass, and that's same with the ACC, the Anglican Catholic Church do amazing. I mean, if you're in the UK, you've got the headquarters is in Kent, which is I think it's Forster, I think, which is the Pro Cathedral in Kent, and it's under Bishop Damien Mead. And lovely man. I never met the man personally, but I've spoke to him over on Messenger. He's a lovely man, and I'm very, very, very good friends with a lot of his priests. One who I absolutely adore, Father Andrew, lovely, lovely man. So much respect. You know, I love them to bits. Again, I think he came from Rome originally. I think I could be wrong, but if I get to do a video with him, we can ask him. But we'll have to wait and see if we can do a video with him. But I think he might be in Rome. I'm not sure. And then you another very, really good friend of mine as well. He's just become a deacon in that. It's amazing. So they're a beautiful church. A lot of these people came from Rome, but they didn't like the certain things where Rome keep changing. You know, it's become like a tick box system, and that's not what Catholicism is. You know, but it's what it is. But I've got a lot of really, really good friends in the Roman Catholic Church as well. Deacon down here, I absolutely love him as well. Deacon John, I love him to bits. He's a great man, very, very inspiring. Father Moses, I love Father Moses to bits. He's like he's amazing. I look up to him a lot. You've got Sean, who's on my team. You've seen him in a couple of videos. English Martyrs was one of his church, which is a beautiful church, and hopefully we get to see his priest, Father Tom, who again I've been to confession with. Lovely man. Again, Latin Mass. I really want to go to his Latin Mass really badly. We're going to try and get a lot of that. So I want to do something as well where we talk to the priests, their road to priesthood. That's why the channel was called The Road to Faith. But it was originally going to be called The Road to Priesthood because I wanted to join the priesthood, where one of my best friends when I was at school, when I was in the Cubs, I joined the choir at All Saints Church, and my best friend at the time, his dad was the vicar of All Saints Church, which is an Anglo-Catholic church. And I wanted to be a priest from a very young age, but I never thought I was worthy to do it, so I never did it. But so there's that. It's a lot of I've got a lot of friends in the church. Father Michael in the Church of England as well. I'd love to do a video with him if I get a chance. But again, I haven't arranged it. This I have to ask. But lovely man. But I'll definitely get a video of his church. I'll definitely come in and get a video of his church because it's more of a modern church, a bit like English Martyrs, but beautiful inside. And he's very Catholic in his ways. Church of England priest, very, very Catholic. There's a lot of them. And then people think the Church of England are having another split because you've got the traditionalists with the non-traditionalists. And as you know, there's been a lot of things going on in the news at the moment with the Church of England. You know, and the Church of England, I think, have lost their way a bit in the sense of they're no longer a church. They're we don't want to offend people, so we're just going to tick a box and let you do what you want. And it's like, that's not what church it is, or it hasn't been for thousands of years, and no church doesn't change. That's like saying the police force should change. We'll just let that criminal go. He didn't mean it. It's like, no, he's under arrest. It's the law. He can't go around doing that to people. He's under arrest. It's like, but the church has gone a bit the other way. So, yeah. So I kind of, but Church of England does a lot of good as well. So you've got to look at the ups and downs and that as well. But I think their history, they've got a proud history. I think Henry VIII would not be happy where the Church of England is going. And for the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Wilbury, who again is a lovely man, but just remember what your forefathers would have said. I don't think they'd have agreed with everything, but it is what it is. I'm not Church of England, so I don't care. But I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in the Church of England churches because they're beautiful, especially for my American brothers and sisters out there, because their country is like 400 or 500 years old. We've got churches that are 1,000, so they like that medieval thing. I know there's not many castles out there. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, at least you get that. They love watching them sort of videos. Matt Whitman, I know he's been to a couple of big cathedrals, and when he goes to the Catholic ones, he's like, wow, because the magnitude of the building is beautiful. So that's pretty much. Sorry about this, guys, as well. I've got washing pile there and the toilet there, but I have to leave that door open for the cats because they're like, it's because they're litter trays in there. Don't get me wrong. Later on, once I've probably got about a couple of 100,000 viewers, I might end up having a studio and it'll all look glitzy and fancy. But one thing you'll learn with me is you get what you get from me. I'm not fake at all. I want to show you the real one. So if I sit outside my bathroom, you'll get a video of me outside my bathroom, like, how you doing? So that's kind of how I roll at the moment. I've got my kids, and my little one's not well as well, so I'm looking after him at the moment. Bless him. So that's all I can say. Hope you're having a fantastic day, everyone. Video's gone on for 40 odd minutes, so it's been a long one. I don't know if anyone watches these, but if anyone ever does, hi. Hope you enjoy it. Again, my channel is not to upset anybody. It's not to say my faith's better than your faith. If you believe in God, it's a win. If it leads to baptism, it's a win. If you went to another direction, went to a different faith, it's going to God regardless. It's a win. So I'm not trying to steer you away from your faith. If you're Protestant, if you're Church of England, if you're evangelist, if you're Lutheran, I'm not trying to steer you away from that and say, come to Rome. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you came from Rome. Rome aren't wrong. But you're practicing it in the way you want to practice it with God, and God has an intimate relationship with each one of us, like in the Bible. Go to, don't pray like the Pharisees do. Lock yourself in, go into your private sanctuary, lock the door and pray in private. My Father will hear you. So, Jesus loves you no matter what. God loves you, again, for my Muslim brothers and sisters as well, God loves you. So, call Allah or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the same entity. God loves you. And peace to everyone out there. Religion is such a powerful and important thing. I wish more people were involved in the faith. I think a lot of people lost their way after the Second World War. It started to decline because a lot of people went through a lot of loss. And loss can do one or two things. It can bring you closer to God, or it can take you away. And it's a shame. But again, society is worse, especially in the UK and in America. People say about what does church do? It teaches discipline. It gives people purpose. Look at society today. Just look at the evidences there. I don't need to argue. People will try and make an argument for it, but they're wrong. Look at the evidence. The countries are in anarchy. And like I don't like to glorify this man, but like Andrew Tate said, living in godless countries. If you go to Syria, Palestine, I've got friends from Iraq, although there's a lot of dangerous things going on out there, that's because there's been wars kicking off. But a lot of that wasn't all their fault, and they're beautiful countries and the people are lovely, and they sit side by side with Christians, side by side. In Palestine, there are places where Jews and Muslims have married each other, but they have to, they can't visit each other's families because they've built a big wall in the way. So, although Muslims shouldn't marry a Jew, they have. Jews shouldn't marry, they have. Catholics are married, but Muslims, loves love. As long as it's the Abrahamic family. But talking about, I'm even going to go and see the Sikhs as well. I want to see, we've got beautiful Guru Nanak in Gravesend, massive Sikh temple. I want to try and go there. Another project before I go as well, we're doing one on fighting athletes as well, and faith. And I'm going to be doing some on history as well. Knights Templar, Order of Malta, which are the Knights Hospitaller, Knights for Lazarus, the Teutonic Knights, the Brotherhood of Bravonia, and all these Soul Brothers of Bravonia, the Knights of Christ, who people think were the Templars, all that sort of thing. Even the groups that are around today that call themselves Templars, although unfortunately the Templars are no more, and if they are around today, they're certainly not on Facebook trying to get members. But again, I love what they're doing, because these people are trying to bring you to the Templars, because they love the Templars. So we're going to go into a lot of things like that. But anyway, I wish you all a fantastic day. Please have a good day. I'm praying for all of you, and please pray for me and my family as well. Lots of love to everyone, and try and love more, hate less, and make the world better than the way we left it. Anyway, God bless. Have a great day. In nome Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.